What's up, y'all? Welcome to what should be a interesting, I think, discussion about the gathering of friends. Hopefully you enjoy this. So, actually, y'all give me just 1 second. I will be right back. Hold on. Pause. I will be right back. Hold on. Sorry about that. All right, let's get going, shall we? Did not come back with McDonald's, Paul. All right. Yeah, that was it. Apologies. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this, shall we? Give myself a little bit of room. There we go. So the Gathering of Friends, for those that don't know, it's an invite-only shindig originally hosted by Alan Moon, and this started around 1990, give or take a couple of years. Around 1990, I think. I obviously was in high school back then. So it started with a handful, and I want to say it was anywhere between 6 and 12 of Alan Moon and his friends. They started this gathering. It has since grown into the thing that it is. Alan Moon no longer runs it. It's run by Craig and Bobby and a host of helpers, including Derek, who is on the show. Let's see, what else about it? I guess it's about 400 people now, give or take a little bit. It is kind of a who's who, designers and publishers, as well as a bunch of just people, friends of Alan and such. And it takes place over the course of 2 weekends and the intervening week in April every year. And we were fortunate enough to go to it. I keep remembering more designers that were there. I tried to make a list. I'm sure I'm going to forget some, which makes this awkward, but I'll do the best I can. So it was from, let me see the days. Oh, wow, maybe 550 people. All right, it was a lot, but it doesn't feel like that many because of the fact that it's over 11 days and not everybody stays the whole time. Some people come for the first weekend, stay for a few days, or I should say stay for a few days before the weekend, stay for the weekend, maybe some after. Some stay for a few days before the weekend and then the weekend. So there's that. This took place we were there from the 11th through the 21st. Yeah, that was it. All right, so a bunch of publishers were there, mostly to show off prototypes and to play games. It is a game playing convention. There's no selling, there's no into that. There are a number of meetings that take place. I had a number of meetings with a bunch of different publishers. Pretty much across the board, it was a positive experience. But here is some of the designers that I could remember that were there. Jeroen Douwman, Splatter, William Attia, Kalis, designer, Elizabeth Hargrave, Ben Rossett, Fabio Lopiano, Tom Lehman, Dominic Crapuchette, Joshua Costa, Joe Huber, Scott Holmes, Ted Allspach, Eric Lang, Chris Ray, Philip Walker Harding, Martin Wallace, Tim Fowler, Richard Breeze, Fel Barros, David Cherkup, and Gordon Kaleo, Antoine Bauza, and there are others, and I can't remember them all, so I apologize. But yeah, it was everywhere you look, you're like, oh. So it was like that. That was kind of cool, and it was just there to play games, show off prototypes. Yeah. Vlada Shivata was supposed to be there, but unfortunately, I believe had a personal thing happen, and so he couldn't make it. Yeah. So there you go. Oh, thank you, Bree, Danielle Reynolds, Scott Brady. Of course, Danielle. I'm not going to remember everybody. I apologize. Oh, David Turtsy was there for a few days. That's right, he was. Taylor from Taylor's Trick Taking. I can't remember Taylor's last name. So yeah. Right. I'm not going to go through all the games I played, because that'd be a lot. If you have questions, now would be a time to ask them. But, yeah. So, some of the highlights, let me see. Played a new Martin Wallace prototype. Can't really talk much about it. That doesn't do you all much good. With Jess and Martin, and that was fun. That was pretty cool. Let's see. Played Struggle of Empires with Martin Wallace and Ralph Anderson, I believe is his last name. So that's designer and publisher. Sorry, designer and developer of Struggle of Empires. So that was a 6.5 hour experience. That was awesome. Martin was the recipient of one of the worst backstabs I've ever seen in board games and still almost came back to win. So that was entertaining. I played a couple of Fabio Lopiano's upcoming games, one of which was Sancore, I believe, which that's the one that got recalled but is coming back out. That was cool. And there's another one coming from Sorry We Are French. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention the name. Set in Space. That was pretty cool as well. No, you don't have to sign NDAs before playing some games, but you do have to ask permission to take pictures and everything. Let's see. Yeah, you just have to ask permission. You don't, and respect that. It's that simple. Let's see. Did I play any Age of Steam at the Gathering of Friends, Nick Ash? Yes, I played one map. It was the Bahia map with Joshua Acosta. I got to meet Hero via FaceTime. She was not there. She was back in Japan. But I got to FaceTime with her and Joshua, so that was cool. I finally got to put a face to a name, so that was nice. But I got absolutely trounced. I was out of it in round one. It wasn't a fun experience to play that game, but that said, it was fun to share some time with Ravindra and Joshua, and I think the guy's name was Lucas. I apologize. Let's see. Yeah, Uli Blenderman was there. Not a designer, but he runs Spielworks. I got to play El Burro. You're going to be seeing that next week. And he and I also discussed working together. I talked to a bunch of publishers to work together on, and by work together, I mean like streams for upcoming games. But John says Bahia looks cool. The Age of Steam map. It was arguably, and I mean this as a compliment, and I said this to Joshua, it was 3 Age of Steam maps all in one. It's a lot. It might be one of the most involved Age of Steam maps. It is definitely not for beginners. It is the one Age of Steam map that I would argue needs a pre-play before we stream it, and that's a first. All right, so let me kind of look at my list here. I played. William Attia didn't have anything new, but he is one of the nicest humans in existence, and played some games with him, some prototypes, but also played Raw with him, and my streak remains of being unwinning at that. He beat me by a point. This was a fun experience. I played Hansa Teutonica with Ted Allsbach and Chris Ray. They were like, hey, Edward, come play. And I was like, sure. Do we need players? They were like, yeah. So I grabbed a couple, one of which was Elizabeth Hargrave, and she had never played Hansa Teutonica before. And then she proceeded to win. So that happened. Like I said, I hung out with Fabio Lopiano quite a bit, played both of his prototypes, enjoyed those. Tom Lehman, we are allowed to talk about that, right? The expansion for Dice Realms, played that. It's a co-op, or we played the co-op campaign, or one of the campaigns, which was 3 games. Jess and I played that together. Taylor played that with Tom. That was good. Played Nature with Dominic Crepichet and a couple of other folks. And Nature is kind of a evolution of his game Evolution. And it's really good, which surprised me from a medium-heavy standpoint. The more modules you add, the heavier it gets. It has some really, really clever card interplay that was unexpected, and I'm looking forward to that one. Played a couple of prototypes of Ted Allsbach, some of which I can't talk about, so we'll move on. Didn't play any games with Eric Lang, but got to hang out with him. From 10 to 11 o'clock at night, sometimes there's a pool and hot tub at the hotel that some people go to, so got to hang out in the hot tub with Eric Lang. And Jess, obviously, but there's that. Philip Walker Harding, I didn't get a chance to play anything of his this year. Martin Wallace, like I said, I played one of his prototypes. All I'll say is set in space. And then played Struggle of Empires, which was fantastic. Saw Tim Fowler there. Had a good chat. Played a prototype of Richard Breeze's. That with Jess, and Jess beat me, of course. So there was that. Oh, I got a chance to teach Scott Alms his first game at the Gathering of Friends. Played Furnace with the expansion and with the set lineup, so that was really, really good. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that was, I'm trying to think. I played expansion of Nucleum with Derek, and I think Shrey was in that game. Shrey, you can correct me if I'm right on that. David Terzi just kind of GM'd the game. Let's see. Yeah, so I think that's probably good. I will answer questions. Now, let's see. What Devere game is my favorite? Will we play Pompero again? Possibly, Spike, on Pompero. And favorite Devere? Oh, boy. Polis, maybe? Maybe Polis, I think. Were there any fun, memorable Glory to Rome moments? Oh, we had a invitation poker tournament that I won. That was cool. That was fun. Let's see. Oh, it was Ron. Thank you. It was Ron instead of Shrey in the Nucleum expansion game. That was good. Best oldest game played. Shrey, I know it wasn't your best experience, but what was Lechita? I think that's the game. I think that recently got a reprint. So there's that. That might have been it. Let's see. Oh, here. So the biggest lose, I would argue, game-wise, of the convention of the gathering was ARCS was scheduled to be delivered to me on Monday and didn't get delivered until the day after I left the following Monday. So that was kind of a beat. Through no fault of Leader Games, that was a FedEx issue. So that sucked. That was a bummer. Is an ARC stream close? Yes, if it shows up. I was supposed to get a phone call today from the hotel to arrange shipping it here. So we'll see when that arrives. Then we got to pre-play it and all that fun stuff. But yes, I think. Did I get a chance to play Zalatar with Chris Ray? I did not. Chris Ray, Taylor, and a couple of the Jim and a couple other folks that are the trick-taking kind of crew, as I think of it, were joined at the hip for as long as they were there. I've been asked not to talk about the Nucleum stuff, so I can't really share that. I apologize. I'm allowed to say that I played Nucleum expansion. That's it. So, sorry. Naito, Bug. Adam says, I know you've been clear that you don't want to design a game, but has there been any gameplay idea or concept that you wanted to see in a game that doesn't yet exist? Not really. I don't think about this stuff that way. I really don't. I just, oh, wow, that's a really cool idea. Or that's a really awesome, unique theme. I would like to try that. So I kind of take it as it comes to me. So I know it's not the sexiest answer, but that's the truth. Yes, Derek, that's a good way to put it. Nucleum expansion was interesting. Shrey says, yes, I'd like to play Lechita again, despite getting beat up quite a bit. Yeah, that was unfortunate. That was no fun for you. Sorry about that. I have not been able to play Speakeasy yet, Spike. I did see Randall, and he and I talked about it. But the only thing about Speakeasy that I've actually seen was when Vital was here last summer or whatnot. Have a good one, Lady Orca. Thanks for joining on Twitch. Appreciate it. Winning hand. I have a picture. I don't know. I'll have to look. King 4 offsuit. King of Diamonds, 4 of Spades. It was a 9-player tournament. So there was that. Derek says, I played Lechita with the new artwork. Forgot how much I liked it. I don't know how much has changed in the new edition, but I enjoyed it. Even though I learned some important lessons and learned how to play right by Joe Huber. He crushed all of us. So that was entertaining. Thoughts about Archipelago? Huh. Did I do a solo of that? I can't remember. If I have played it, it's been too long to be able to speak on it. I apologize. Sorry. I will say this, that I enjoyed my play of Nucleum with the expansion. So there was that. That was good. I got a chance to go to the daily, I guess, breakfast crew with the 18XX crew. It is a bunch of OG gathering of friends, folks, including the Joes, Jeroen Dowman, and a bunch of other folks. They get together at 7:45 in the morning, go to Bob Evans, come back, play 18XX. So that was cool. That was a really fun experience. I got my head bashed in Kutnahora by both Jess and Scott Holmes. Taught that to them, so there was that. Got beat, like I said, by Elizabeth Hargrave at Hansa Teutonica. Fabio crushed every time he played one of his games. That was pretty funny. Have I gotten to play Vanuatu? I played it a while back. Again, it's been years since I played it. It is going to be streamed sometime in the near-ish future. So there's that. I don't think I have a copy anymore. No, I'm thinking of Kai Vai. I don't, but I'm sure somebody in the group does. Did I bring any games that you personally really wanted to play? Brought a few. Brought more home than we left with. A lot, actually. Let's see. I brought Weimar, but I didn't know if it'd get played by anybody. It didn't. Jess brought her copy of Pampero. That didn't get played. Oh, God. I should have taken a picture of all the games. I did bring Struggle of Empires that I wanted to get played and got that played, obviously, with Shrey and Martin Wallace and Ralph Anderson, and that was cool. Trying to think. Having a hard time. Wanted to play Pyramid Arcade, never got a chance to play it, so that was a bummer. How do I feel about Kutnahora now that I have multiple plays? Still not my favorite. I feel like the mining should be more important than it is, and depending on other players, it doesn't sit 100% with me. Oh, Galactic Cruise, right. I brought that. That got played. Oh, that's actually a pretty funny moment. Thank you, Shrey. I'm glad you're here. You and Derek, you guys can talk about stuff as well. So help either jog my memory like Shrey just did, or talk about your experiences as well, because Derek and Shrey were both there as well. Galactic Cruise got played a couple times. That is true. I played in one of them. Reminded myself why I don't play big games after dinner, because that was like a 4-hour experience. It wasn't unpleasant. It just ran long. That's all. But probably I got three really nice one of which was really funny compliments while I was at the gathering. One of which someone's significant other watches them watch the channel, and his fiance said, "Wow, he has really beautiful hands." So thank you. That was nice. And then the other two compliments. I had one lady come up and told me how much she appreciates the time I take when setting up the stream, like how everything is laid out. I thought that was a really nice compliment, and I really appreciated it because I do try and put a lot of attention and detail in setting up a stream before the stream, and trying to make it, even though it's going to get messed up as soon as we start playing. That was really nice. And one of the more unexpected compliments was on Sunday. Before the dinner, which the farewell dinner was from 5 to 7, and Jess and I were hitting the road as soon as that ended for a 7.5 hour drive. So we actually didn't hit the road until like 8:30 or 9. But right before, a few hours before the dinner started, a gentleman, Australian, I believe he's Australian, not Kiwi, he's Australian, by the name of Eos, Niels and Jason from the Dice Tower, asked if they could play Galactic Cruise, and asked if I would teach it. So I said sure, helped them set it up. And then after I got done teaching, Jason looks at me and says, "That was an awesome teach. Thank you so much. You're really good at that. Normally we just set up games and somebody learns it from the rule book or whatever. It's not like that. So thank you. That was an awesome teach." And I was like, I appreciate that. Thank you. So that felt nice. Yes, Tony, Railroad Dice. It's funny. That's actually sitting over here on a thing to get played, as a game to get played. So yes, and looking forward to that. Yeah. Derek, I saw, got a game of Tricarian in. They started that at like 10:30 at night. Him, Benita, and I'm trying to picture who was sitting in the corner, and I can't picture him. Oh, it was Octavian from BGG. That was it. Hopefully that was enjoyable. Another layer asked about 1889, 1849 revisit. Maybe at some point. Certainly could happen. Derek says Heat's next expansion maps and cards were pretty excellent. That's great. If you're into Heat, there's that. Oh, a couple other games I wanted to mention here. Let me look this one up because I don't have it written down. A moment. Having to look this up. I apologize. Talk amongst yourselves. Ask questions in the meantime. Oh God, that is a wrong way to do that. I want to say, so it's from Matago, Galactic Renaissance. Yes, that was it. Was a, I don't even know how to describe this. I guess a political negotiation game that I played with Arnaud from Matago. He absolutely eviscerated me. I almost got skunked, but that was pretty good. Another by them, which is on the opposite end of the spectrum, called Lynx. It's a tic-tac-toe meets rock, paper, scissors. Look, it doesn't sound good. I get it. But I was pretty enthralled with it the first couple times I played it. I thought that was a really clever little filler. That was good. I appreciate it. All right, enough with the hand comments. Thank you. I appreciate the compliments. Let's see. Favorite Age of Steam map. I mean, God, y'all know it. Heaven, Purgatory, and Earth. I can't think of the name. It's Ted Alspach map. Sankore. If I get a copy of Sankore, then yes. In fact, wait. I think that came home with us. So yes, we're going to be streaming that, I believe, from Osprey. Fabio sent me home with that. So yeah. Do I know, Chris, do I know when City Tricks redo will happen? I do not. Okay, Shrey says Carvey got to play a second time. Decided it's good, not great. I think game-wise, one of the highlights for me was Civolutions. That is, I'm going to say two sentences that don't go together. A Stefan Feld that takes an hour to teach and 3 hours to play. Off stream. Civolutions. And I really enjoyed that a lot. So you're going to see that on stream coming up. Rocky says, I do enjoy how the convention is on the honor system and no NDAs at the door. It's really only something you can pull off with a vetted attendee list. It's honestly about respect. So I took a video. I got permission to give a video tour of the Gathering of Friends, but I chose not to post it because I realized after looking at it, there were a couple of prototypes. Even if they were only there for a moment, people can pause the video. And so I was like, nah, let's not. So, but it was cool to see stuff. And Jess was talking about, we would always take selfies right at the table of everybody that played, and how she took a selfie with the people she was playing with, and then there was Eric Lang, Elizabeth Hargrave, and it might have been Phil Walker Harding, just kind of milling about, having a chat behind, just chilling, and that kind of really describes the Gathering of Friends. So that was cool. Disco Inferno. No, wrong. Soul Train. That's it, John. Thank you. Soul Train. Yeah. Oh, hey. Shrey says you seem to enjoy The Brain. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a great two-player. The Brain, a little clever take on Hanabi-esque, except you get to see the cards, and it's you have to get rid of all the cards before the tableau has 7 piles of cards. I thought that was pretty clever. I really enjoyed it. It played 4-player as well, but I thought the 2-player was a little bit better. Shrey says, I finally got to play one of the new Concordia maps. That was an awesome experience. Botanicus is great. Feeling like an old school midweight Euro from Hansum Gluck. Derek played. I did not get a chance to play that one, so that's cool. I'm going through, like I said, the Richard Breeze one was fine. I saw an upcoming version of a established game from Tom Lehman. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but that looked... that was a obvious thing, but also looked interesting. God, that's terrible. That's a terrible way to describe stuff. I'm sorry. Oh, good call. Forgot about that one. Hey, Rug6, good afternoon from sunny UK over on Twitch. Hi. Shrey says, Civolution and SETI were the 2 larger Euros that I played. Definitely interested in trying them again. I agree on both those points. SETI from Czech Games Edition was definitely, it had some really, really cool stuff. On the counterpoint of SETI, SETI is about the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, right? I think that's what SETI stands for. I want to play it again before I give too much by way of opinions on the negative side of things, but it certainly felt like the aliens in it could have been more wow, and they weren't. And so that felt like a bit of a missed opportunity. Civolutions, really enjoyed. Super fast turns. It's a long game just because there's a lot going on in it, but that might have been my favorite big game that I played. So, have I seen Epos or 12 Monks from Spielworks/Capstone? Kaladin asks. Okay, so I guess Epos is public enough. No, Uli and I talked about working together with Epos, so that's going to happen, but I haven't seen it. He gave me an overview about it, but that's all. So, that. And like I said, I have a pre-production copy of El Burro. We're going to be streaming next week. What do you think of Space Empire 4X and its expansions? I haven't played it. I have it, but I haven't played it yet. So there's that. And Derek says, went old school with fast food franchise from 1992 with Fel and Dan. Dan, part of our group, and Fel Barros, from Brazilian designer developer, and Jess's best friend. Very sharp and fun, he says. And no, I did not get any splatters in, but I didn't expect to either. So there's that. Didier says a suggestion. Luna Morris? I do not know this. I will look this up. This is from... I don't see any U.S. publishers. I do not. Okay. All right, I'll check it out. I'll keep it up. Noted. Appreciate it. But yeah, it was a great experience. It was a lot of fun. It's 11 days, a long time, but also like the biggest miss. Every time I went to go play Freedom. Oh God, I didn't mention Freedom and Freeze. Jeez, really? Okay. Pretty funny moment. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I didn't get a chance to play any of Friedeman's prototypes. He brought like 30 with him. Every time Friedemann, he has his own table there. A couple of the designers do. And every time I would I had some free time, I'd go over and he's in the middle of a prototype. Or he was on the phone with his kids and you don't want to interrupt. And so that was a total miss. And that was a huge bummer, not being able to try any of his stuff. Funny moment though. I had been wearing my hat all day on Sunday, and we were going to the farewell dinner. And I was walking after, like, yeah, I was walking. It doesn't matter. I was walking to the dinner with him, next to him. And if y'all haven't seen pictures of Freedom and Freeze, he has green hair, always. But it's all spiky and up and wild. And I had hat hair. It was all crazy. And I'm trying to like smooth it down because I didn't want to wear my hat at the dinner table and all that. And I look over at Freedom and I was like, how's my hair? Is it all right? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. And I looked past the mirror and I was like, why do I ask Freedom how my hair looks when? So that was a funny moment. So there's that. So yeah. That was a pretty funny moment, I thought. Anyway. Also on the way up, we stopped at Millennium Games. Millennium Games is in Rochester, New York. It's the biggest game store in the U.S. And I cannot say enough nice things about it. It is a beautiful store. It is massive. The staff seems very attentive and very helpful and very welcoming. That was just an overall wonderful experience. They have a used games section that they have everything from old school Avalon Hill to newer stuff. We recently were talking about 20th Century, Vladimir Suchy, and happened to see a copy of it there for $10. Picked that up. That was awesome. And I believe the guy who helped us was James, I think was his name. Was super nice, super awesome. Yeah, and that was just a really cool experience. So wanted to give them a shout out because that was a really cool experience. That was nice. Let's see. Got to play Niagara at the 20th Look section at PAX East. Amazing game. Never heard of it. 20-year-old game, Niagara. I think I've played that, Adam. I think so. I can't remember. Noted, though. I hear you. 12 Monks I know nothing about. Medieval economics with a hex map for land cultivation. Aegis theme like. Okay, I'm in. Awesome. Caladan, when I hear more about it, you'll hear more about it. Or I guess the rest of the folks watching will hear more about it. Wolfsbane says, I really enjoyed the recent videos from some of the frequent players on your channel. Martin, so it was Paul, Kyle, Martin, John, and Ken also joined the roundtable. Huge shout out to them. That was a massive undertaking, especially on Paul's part, because he did the editing. Did an amazing job. I am super grateful, and they just did an awesome job. So thank you. Well done to everybody there. And I'm glad you all enjoyed it because those were great. And there's no reason we can't do those on occasion. Totally. Bigger than Guardian Games in Portland. According to their website, yes. But I've been to Guardian Games, I think. I can't remember. It was pretty massive. The thing that struck me the most at Millennium Games there in Rochester was they back a lot of Kickstarters. And they have a lot of Kickstarter versions of games. And just the sheer box size of so many of these is getting way out of control. There are massive boxes upon massive boxes there on display. And it was absolutely insane. Completely insane. So that's got to get reined in. That was out of control. Wolfsbane asks, have you ever played a game that you'd never heard of before, but were blown away by how good it was after playing it? Blown away might be a stretch, but I'll give the most pleasant, exceeded expectations after I'd heard about it. Honestly, was Civolutions from Dprint. I heard 1 hour teach, 3 to 4 hours to play a Stefan Feld, and I was like, this is either going to be really good or really bad, and nothing in between, and I really enjoyed it. So that would be a good example of that. Millennium table area is much bigger. They had like 60 tables to play games. It was insane. Okay, and Jess says, Millennium Games is currently the biggest game store in the U.S., but Guardian Games is likely just behind it. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Jess. I appreciate that. Oh my God. So Jess and I drove up to the gathering together. Shrey and Derek drove up to the gathering, and we met at Millennium Games in Rochester. And while we were there, we saw this box, and like, I'm not exaggerating. Like it literally would take up the whole screen here. And it was the 33% bigger La Granja. It was comical how big it was. It was just like, why? Just because but why? And just the sheer size of game boxes were just massive. It was insane. Yeah. Shrey, Philip of Deep Print Games, publisher. Also, Philip Eggert was there of Eggert Spiele, but also Deep Print. Matthias Nagy, or Nagy, is going to be here in studio, I think, around the Gathering of Friends, either before or after. And I believe we're going to be streaming that then. So, yay. But he clocked our game, not the teach, just the game itself at 2 hours and 50 minutes. So it was 4 players, first playthrough of the game, having just learned it and asking questions of Philip, who was there. 2 hours and 50 minutes of Civolutions. So there's that. That is a lot, Will Spain. Asking for, like, my thoughts. So, Medieval, unfortunately, I haven't played a single one of these. Legacies, Medieval, Hannibal versus Hamilcar, that's coming, though. Genoa, or if I have played that, I haven't played it in forever. And Mezzo. I haven't played any of them except maybe Genoa, and I haven't played that in forever. So, I apologize. Yeah, the super deluxe version of Castles of Burgundy, also an obnoxious box size. Although it looked really pretty on the table, not gonna lie. But obnoxious box size. ISS Vanguard has about 900 boxes and takes up an entire room. Only a slight exaggeration from what I've seen of it. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. No, all good, Will Spain. You're good. Yeah, so I'm trying to think if there's like any other like massive. There was a cool evening where I couldn't get into a game. Like it just so happened, like I'm walking around and everybody's in games, and I don't want to, interrupt people or foist myself upon people. But I didn't really feel like going up to the room. And it was 10, 11 o'clock, something like that. And I couldn't people. Like I realized that I wanted to play something or I wanted to do something, but I couldn't people. Because even us extroverts get over inundated. So I stumbled on the quiet room. Now I hadn't stumbled upon, I knew there was a quiet room. So that was cool at the gathering. But what I didn't know was there were puzzles back there. And I went back there and I saw Eric Brocious doing this one-of-a-kind laser cut wooden puzzle that had the weirdest shaped pieces, like not your typical. I'm sure y'all have seen these types of puzzles before. I hadn't, but it was a Ticket to Ride 20th anniversary in honor of the Gathering of Friends. And it was gorgeous. And I saw Eric Brocious and one other gentleman doing the puzzle. And it's dead silent in there. And I came over and kind of hovered for a moment. And I said, quietly, do you mind if I try a piece or two? And they were like, no, please, have at it. A piece or two ended up, I helped finish it. So, yeah, that was a highlight. That was really nice. There was throughout that one of the original folks that I joined. I don't remember who the gentleman's name, but it ended up there being just me and Eric for a while, and then somebody else joined. It was Felix. Felix of our group joined to do the puzzle, and then another gentleman from the area goes the lobster trap, and for the life of me I cannot remember his name. I played Galactic what was it I mentioned the name of the Matago game. I apologize. It was, let me see, Galactic Renaissance. I played with him. He's a designer as well, and I can't remember his name. Anyway, he came and he brought a bottle of scotch. I sniffed it, had a sip. Nope, scotch, still not for me. But the four of us finished the puzzle. That was a fun experience. That was a really, really pleasant experience. So social battery on 0 mood. Yeah, that was a good way to put it, Rocky. Any sightseeing or tourism outside the gathering? Not this year. Jess and I did a lot of that with the kids last year. We went to Niagara Falls. We hiked around. We got out. We took the ferry into the falls. Maid of the Mist, I think was the name or something like that. That was a cool experience. Definitely can recommend. The Canadian side of Niagara Falls is very Myrtle Beach, tourist trappy, very, 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 very. But also it's pretty in places. The U.S. side, less so, for sure. But so we did all that last year, not this year. There was a large dinner that a couple of the hosts, or a couple of folks hosted, I should say, and to a Brazilian steakhouse, Brasa. And I thought it was really eye-opening and also kind of funny, but also I enjoyed it. Went to the Brazilian steakhouse. There was a bunch of us. It's across the border, so bring your passport. And it's right over the border. It's like a 5-minute drive. And it's a charcuterie. It's a Brazilian steakhouse where they bring meats on skewers and cut them off. That. And Fel came, and I was like, okay, you got to tell me, how does this, like, give me context, because I've never been to Brazil. And he's like, oh, it's so not nearly as good. It's just not nearly as good. They try, but it's disappointing. I was like, noted. He said, come to Brazil. We need to do it upright. And I was like, yes. So awesome. Have a good one, Marcus. Sounds like a baffler. No, there was a name, and you know what? I think I took a picture of it. Give me a second. I'll give proper thanks on it. I'm looking. A lot of pictures. Just I beg your patience for this. That was not it. No, that was for the poker tournament. Come on. Oh, there's the Can't Stop tournament Sunday morning that Dan hosted. Got into an epic 3-player game of me. It happened to be Eric Brocious and Adam. And it was a 3-way battle. Eric was right on the cusp of winning. Then I was on the cusp of winning. And then Adam came from nowhere and won our first round match. So I was eliminated in that. But that was pretty great. Oh, I wasn't going back far enough. Okay, there it is. I'm looking. Come on. Oh, that's a lot of pictures. Okay. Just looking for the picture of the damn. Oh, this was pretty cool. So this is not going to show real well, but yeah, kinda. You can kinda see that. So this is in the lid of one of Bezier Games' Ted Alspach's games. And what it says is advanced preview copy. This game has been announced. You may discuss online. You may post pictures. Production version may differ slightly. Advanced preview copy. So that was awesome. I thought that was a genius way of doing that. And I really appreciated it and thought it was really, really smart and clever for doing that. That was a breakfast. Okay, I'm just going to scroll through at this point. Oh, there it is. Found it. Stumpcraft. So, there. Oh, there you go. That. Okay. Anyway, that was the puzzle. Retail version of Foundations of Rome, which is Foundations of Metropolis. Okay, cool. Circadian's Chaos Order. Okay, check that out. Okay, noted. Okay. They serve a good Capri... I can never pronounce this right. Caipirinha? I don't know. I didn't drink. I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay, Derek says apparently that was a good cocktail at the Copacabana Steakhouse, though, in Canada. So there's that. There we go. All right. So yeah, that was it. That was 11 days of nonstop gaming, basically, and hanging out. You have enough time to take excursions and do other stuff if you want. There were people that like drove around Niagara Falls or walked around and took pictures of abandoned places as well. There's touristy stuff. There's stuff in Buffalo. There's stuff in Rochester, the game store, Millennium Games, and all that fun stuff as well. So, yeah. All right. Well, I've reached the end of the internet. 1 hour. That's it. All right. That's a wrap. I'll be back tonight, or at least that's the plan for Age of Steam. And the Age of Steam map is going to be Blizzard of 77. So thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully everybody enjoyed that. Thanks for joining, and I will see you all tonight. Take care, everybody. Bye. Thanks for the questions.